And we are less than 30 minutes away from the reopening of the National Collation Center of the Independent National Electoral Commission, where the nation is to receive the outcome of what has been termed as the most keenly contested election in Nigeria's political history.
That is debatable, though, as some will cite the 1993 elections, which had top contenders MK Abiola
Bashir Tofa
in that election. Some will say that remains the most keenly contested. But anyway, the important thing is Nigerians are waiting.
Yes,
we are waiting.
And all eyes are on INEC at the moment. Well, the thing is, as the wait continues, Twitter is still buzzing with various hashtags about the top contenders. Speculations are also rife about who is winning or losing. Well, interesting times. Welcome to Poll Stream. I am Victor Matthias.
And I'm Mayawa Ogundele.
Well, we always encourage you to be a part of this program, be a part of the conversation. Talk to us using the social media and share your thoughts using the hashtag PollStream, the verdict, as well as 2019 elections on Twitter, Facebook, as well as on Instagram.
And don't forget, channelstv.com is your home for breaking news as Nigeria decides. You can watch us live anywhere and anytime on youtube.com/channels web. Also follow Channels Television on all social media handles and platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Just keep yourself updated.
Just follow us.
Yeah.
We're here for you.
Well, let's begin the walk through what was buzzing on social media overnight. There have been reactions to big stories online. And of course, I mean, like I said, all eyes are on INEC. The collation is what people were talking about. Well, the first reaction we have is from Osage Dollar, and he says, this method of collating results is very wrong, so we have to wait for them. Don't you have the results already in any electronic format? This is why every government that wins elections can't perform very well, because this kind of system works against the will of the people in the long term.
We have Fredo's Smin 01 who said, your first duty is to the Nigerian people, the old men, women, the youth, the physically challenged, the future of democracy. It is to do just one thing, fairness. Let our votes count.
I mean, that has always been the message. You know, people want, that their votes to count. I mean,
definitely.
Yeah, so, because people shy away from this, looking at the fact that, oh, will it count? Will it not count?
Will it not count?
Yeah, exactly. So, but the next one is from Harji. He or she says, I hope at INEC Nigeria will remain loyal to the citizens of our great country, Nigeria, and respect the will of the people, no matter the pressure. I pray you will remain committed to the people of Nigeria. I believe in INEC. That's very refreshing to
and
hear.
Definitely, INEC does need words of encouragement as well.
At this time.
They need that as well.
Indeed.
We have Vic Spider 2001. I think you failed. Now, people will not always agree. That's why, we're open to people sending their thoughts, their reactions, their opinions, and we hope that they will keep it objective as much as possible.
Exactly.
So he said, your people are using calculators and handset calculators to compute result sheets. We are so backwards. The process is too crude. We need to grow beyond this level, please.
Indeed,
that is true.
Indeed, we need to grow beyond this
Africa's
level.
giants needs to do better.
Indeed.
We need to show the way.
The next one is from _Oluchi, and he or she says, all I can say is that you people should do the right thing, if not for anything, but for the sake of those that died and got injured during this election, for the sake of those people that stood under the sun for hours just to vote.
That reminds me of my NYSC days. Under the sun or in the rain.
I mean, you have to stand and do your duty.
Yes. So definitely, I know that INEC is watching this and they're getting all these messages from Nigerians across the world.
Indeed. Well, the next big one was talking about some candidates who actually won their elections. The first one is the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Yakubu Dogara. Well, this one from Stephen Ime says, this election is reflecting individuals and not the party. Nigerians are growing.
It's a good thing. I think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
When political parties now know they have to sit up, it's not about just brandishing your name.
Yeah.
People will, go for who they want, which is a good thing. We have Bantu Matthias. Joshua says, I entered a bus and met some bus politicians who tried to convince me that Dogara was not going to win. I told them there is no forced fashion against Dogara that will prosper. That is one loyal supporter. I can
imagine. The next one is from Garba Umar. It says, congrats, but he should be aware that in next assembly he will just be an ordinary floor member. He can't even chair any committee. I mean, that's not entirely true because you never can tell.
Never say never.
Never say never. I mean, so it depends on who has the majority in the House. And for now, you really can't tell.
We don't know that yet.
Yeah.
Another topic trending and buzzing online is Melaye.
Very interesting one. I mean, he won his own election as well. And of course, people know Senator Melaye for all of his theatrics, you know, his funny videos.
For entertainment as well.
Exactly, you know. So, well, the first one is from Muhammad 4438. And he says, "Congratulations, sir, democracy at work. Although I don't like some of your behavior, but I'm happy for you."
Which is a good thing.
Exactly.
You know, I may not like everything about you, but I'm happy for you.
I haven't seen the individual who is being liked, you know, by all.
Definitely.
I haven't seen that.
The next one is from Unwene, who said, "I'm sure he'll release a new album with dancing videos."
We have to wait to see if that will happen. The next one is from Don Panazio. Says, "Dino Melaye will become in the Senate because his wings have been damaged. I'm seeing Dino joining APC again. Mark this tweet."
Interesting one.
Well, we'll have to wait and see.
This is Nigerian politics.
Anything
can happen.
Indeed. Indeed.
We have NG Garba, who said, "Now what should we call the people of Kogi West? This is appalling to say the least." Well, he doesn't agree, apparently.
No.
He doesn't agree. Well, the reactions didn't end there. Some of you also sent in video reactions to breaking stories.
As we encourage you to do.
And they also sent in reactions to results announced by the electoral umpire INEC so far. Let's take a look at those.
My name is Dr. Bamishai Victor, and I'm originally from Ekiti State, Nigeria. I'm very excited that the elections are held finally, and I think the biggest winner coming from these elections is the Nigerian people for their steadfastness, for standing firm and keeping faith with INEC. I'm very excited. I'm very happy that a lot of strong parliamentarians are not coming back. They've been summarily defeated, and I'm very, very happy. The young candidates, a lot of them are coming into the 9th Assembly, and that is very brilliant. I hope that they will be able to infuse bright, bold, and brilliant ideas into the legislative framework that governs the country. In Ekiti State, a party won all the parliamentary seats, and well, that's very interesting to note. And I am hoping that eventually the party that wins at the center, I mean the party that produces the president, will produce and control the majority of the National Assembly, so that they can be able to implement their policy works very fast. With no need for legislative executive grandstanding. Nigeria needs to progress. I'm very glad that the results that are coming in, and thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashiru Oluwaseun. The electoral result has been exciting so far, and pocket of surprises here and there. I look forward to a 9th assembly that is better, because it looks like it's going to be a different pack of cards compared to the 8th assembly. And so some surprises that I have as a person is the Kwara Central result, the Gombe North, I think from the east, the Abia North. And so another thing again is we look forward to the presidential result today. And I'd like to urge the loser to accept defeat, because the success of an election is a win-win for the country. And so let us see it in that direction, that you congratulate the winner, and the winner takes us to a greater Nigeria. That's my opinion. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ibukwadeni. I'm a software engineer. I want to give my comment on the results of the just concluded elections. We've noticed that people have been voting beyond party lines. The results rolling in have been nerve-wracking. With what I can see, it shows that INEC has really captured the will of the people in most areas. We see interesting results coming out from Kwara. We see interesting results coming out of Kogi, Abia, Akwa Ibom. It reflects the will of the people, and I think that INEC has been able to successfully do that with what we've seen so far. We're still waiting on results from the north, because we haven't really heard much from that. We're waiting, most importantly, we're waiting from the results from the presidency. Everybody is glued to their screens over here, and let's see how it goes.
Indeed, we have to wait and see how all of that will go. I mean, just a few minutes to that opening of the Collation Center. But then, speaking of results, the Independent National Electoral Commission has been updating Nigerians on what is going on, as well as the reopening of the National Collation Center in Abuja, which is scheduled for 11 a.m. this morning. And here is what he had to say. Well, that's the National Commissioner, Mr. Festus Okoye.
The moment any result arrives at the National Collation Center and it is sequenced by the Collation Secretariat, the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, we take it. So we are not necessarily waiting for all the results to arrive. But we believe that by the time we start at 11 a.m. this morning, a few of the results will have arrived. As you see, we can only receive what has been finished from the state collation assessment. So unless a state is done with collation, there is no way they will bring the results to the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, to the National Collation Center. This is because we are not doing electronic collation and electronic transmission of results. The state collation officers for the presidential elections must bring the physical results accompanied by the resident electoral commissioner and the security agencies to the National Collation Center in Abuja before an announcement will be made, because we are not privy to the results that are being announced at the state collation centers. The way you are seeing the results being announced is the same way we are seeing the results being announced. So when they are done with the results, they will now transmit physically the results as collated at the state level to the National Collation Center before the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission will be in possession of those results.
Well, there you go. You heard it from the horse's mouth. The
countdown is on. Exactly. 11 a.m. It's in a few minutes. Well, joining us to look at how technology can be used to make the collation of results better is a blockchain technology engineer, Abiodun Dabiri.
Indeed.
It's a pleasure to have you in the studio.
Thank you very much.
Very quickly, help me understand and help, thousands of viewers understand, who don't understand already, what blockchain technology is. Just explain.
Okay, in a nutshell, right, blockchain technology is a distributed, decentralized technology. Now, to bring it closer to home so that people that are not familiar with technology or computers can understand better, liken it to a family tree, right? In your family tree, you've had your father, your grandfather, your great-grandfather. They probably passed on some heirlooms from them down to you, maybe landed property, etc. If your great-grandfather or your father is taken out of the picture, you would no longer exist. And the reason why you would no longer exist is because of time and history. So that is what blockchain is about. It is about storing recorded history over time.
So how do we, I mean, I kind of, I'm trying to understand the explanation, but, yes, if we're going to bring it down now to using that same technology for elections, how do we do that?
Okay, for elections.
So especially looking at collation.
Okay, for collation, right, yeah. Real time. Real time. It's like live scores. It's like you're watching a football match and the player scores a goal. Instantly, everybody around the world knows, right? Because that information is transparent and available for everybody. With blockchain, decentralized technology, there is no central place for someone to attack and take down the transmission of these results. With blockchain technology, right, this is a decentralized storage. Everybody has a copy of the results. That way, it is live and available for everyone to see. As people are voting, the votes are being counted real time. So there's no need for us to wait a day, 2 days, 3 hours, 4 hours to calculate. No need for us to use calculators. No need for us to use hands to calculate it.
So the thing is, how safe is it?
Oh, it's extremely safe. It's the same safety that powers the internet, the same safety that powers online banking, the same safety that powers Bitcoin itself.
Which have been breached in some instances and cases.
Yeah, in the instances where Bitcoin or your online banking has been breached, it is usually because someone has given out their personal details. So if I, a voter, give out my personal, private, secret password for voting, then anybody else can vote as me. But if I keep that PVC card to myself, I keep that personal, private password to myself, I do not need to give it out to someone. It secures my access to the blockchain network, and it secures the blockchain network itself. There is no one central place to attack in the blockchain.
Well, let's hope that the Independent National Electoral Commission will bring that in coming elections, and hopefully we won't have all this long wait that we're usually having. But we have to say thank you for joining us on the program, Abiodun Dabiri, blockchain technology engineer.
Thank you very much.
Of course. We're going to break on Pollstream, and we'll be back in a moment. Please stay with us.
Stay with us. Welcome back to Pollstream, a part of Channels Television's 24-hour coverage of the 2019 elections, The Verdict.
That's right.
This is where you get the latest election updates.
It's a few minutes again before INEC reopens the National Collation Center, where results from the presidential election will be announced. Now, be a part of Pollstream by using the hashtag Pollstream 2019 elections and The Verdict. Use that on Twitter, on Facebook, as well as on Instagram. We would also love to get your video reactions like you saw earlier on the program.
Now let's switch gears as we bring in a political analyst, Edward Israel Aide, to get a sense of the faith of those who have been disenfranchised, either through violence, malfunction of electoral equipment, and the like.
Of which we have some of those, actually.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's good to have you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yes.
What is the current situation? How do you suppose these people feel right now?
I'll say very much disappointed in the Nigerian state and in the electoral system. A lot of people stood in the sun. Some of the polling units that I heard about, and even the ones where I visited on election day, a lot of people had been there from like 6 a.m. in the morning till about 2 in the afternoon or 3 p.m. And I can imagine that after all that, they must have felt disenfranchised if some of their votes were not counted or rendered invalid and all the like.
So what would be the next line of action? Because, I mean, why would I, like you said, why would I stay under the rain, you know, under the sun? Like Maiwa said earlier on, you just reminded her of our NYSC days where, you know, you sing that anthem. I mean, so you're doing your duty now, and, you know, these things happen. You know, what would be the way forward? I think
first of all, the failure to have signed the electoral amendment bill, I think, is one of the issues that has come up. Elections have normally been known to be one of desperation. I felt like the amendment was going to forestall a lot of these things. A lot of people would have been a bit more mild in how they went about some of the violence. We saw places where ballot papers were burnt and all that. I felt if this electoral amendment bill had been signed, I think it would have forestalled a lot of these things. So I think going forward, we need to ensure that these elections are not a do-or-die affair. Like, we can use technology, we can use laws. The 8th Senate tried to push some of these things into play. I think that's the only way we can go around it. Institutions, systems, and not brute force. That's the way forward for me.
Yeah, so I mean, speaking of the Electoral Act, do you think, because we're looking at also infusing technology, a bit part of that has actually been happening, but do you think the Electoral Act would have, you know, perhaps given that leeway for technology to be very well infused in the process?
Yes, it would have. And most importantly, I think what it would have done is to ensure that the desperation that visits our politics, that makes things like vote buying, that makes things like voter intimidation come into play or become like, we think it's normal part of the elections. I think it would have forestalled a lot of those things. So like I said earlier on, I think the only way forward is to strong institutions and strong laws. Let's rework the system and leave all these issues of brute force and trying to force things to happen against the wishes of people who have actually stood in the sun to vote.
What about the security officials? I mean, how would you say they did? Because they are also very key.
Security, I would say for me, has not been up to par. I saw a picture of a copper who was being carried by another copper, and the police were just standing by idle, and it was very heartbreaking, because these are young people that would be the ones who would go into politics tomorrow, and nothing is being done. We saw videos of parts of Lagos where people were being turned back and chased and all that on election day. And I expected the security agencies to have been made aware of these things before, to have anticipated some of these things to have happened and be better prepared for it. So personally, I do not think, I know some of these incidents are isolated, but I don't think the security system has been up to par. I saw the former commissioner of police on the channels yesterday saying that there's been a lot of, there was no synergy between the security agencies. And I think, like what he said, this would have really helped. I think the state did not prepare the security apparatus to protect the people who wanted to vote. So for me, I don't think it's been up to par.
Edward, let's bring it back to the human angle, because at the end of the day, people are the ones involved. People's lives, people's time, people's emotions. Some people have lost their loved ones. So there's so much involved, and it's all down to the human. In areas where, elections have either been cancelled and they experience violence, INEC is about to start counting votes at the national center that's for the presidential elections. And I'm wondering, these people who voted in all these areas, in all the hotspots, they would be watching the verdicts, they'll be watching INEC live, and they will be thinking, my vote is not there. And I'm aware that from following the conversation, I know that INEC has said they would need to conduct fresh elections in certain areas. But the trick here is, if the numbers there are insignificant, will that vote still count?
I think the fact that we are going to, or the conduct of these elections might make a lot of people feel more apathy about the electoral process is something that we all need to worry about. A lot of people, like I said, the human factor, a lot of people wanted a change in the way things were. Came out, some even traveled to their villages or wherever to go and vote, and then you hear 2 days later that your vote did not count, that was rejected, it was corrected. We've been saying all sorts. I think people will feel very disappointed in the electoral process, and that might affect future elections. That's the scary part. One of the problems that we have in Nigeria with the elections is very, very low voter turnout, because people do not trust the system. And,
hopefully in coming elections, people will trust the system. But some of the things that also trended yesterday on social media was the League Cup final between Manchester City and Chelsea. Which club do you support? Just in wrapping up.
I'm a Chelsea fan.
Okay, let's just leave it there.
I don't belong to any team or any club, but come on. Come on.
All right, everyone. We have to say thank you. I mean, of course, because people, even with the elections, people also were watching, the Premier League as well. There was Manchester United versus Liverpool as well. But thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
And sorry about your loss again.
Thank you.
Of course.
Victor, it's not only football that trended. And focus has really changed. A few days ago, it was all elections, but now there's entertainment, there's sports. People are still following the elections.
The Oscars, talking about entertainment.
Definitely. The Oscars is also trending right now. It's quite interesting.
Okay. Well, keep those trends going. Keep sending those videos. Keep sending those comments, pictures. We see all of you, watching the verdicts. We do appreciate all of that, but we have to say thank you. This is where we bring Poll Stream to a wrap. Thank you for watching. I am Victor Matthias.
And I'm Mayowa Ugundele.